All right. Get this going. Well, welcome everybody. September session. It's been a little bit of a hectic couple of weeks for me, going to Dreamforce, starting new job. So some of our slide fodder may be a little out of date, or maybe a little disorganized, or may just be boring. So sorry about that in advance. Welcome everybody. Panel, Moyez, Ame, Nathan, Shannon, Brian, and Jitendra. Thanks for coming out. Interesting session today. I'm a little bit unprepared for what this is going to be. I'm excited, but I don't know anything about digital engagement or what we're about to see. So hold on to your seats. I hope that's what you all showed up here for, because that's what we're about to do. John, I'm sorry it's taken us a little bit longer than normal to get there. My name is Paul. Ame and I lead the group founded by Moyez Thanawala. If you have any interest in participating, ideas for session, please reach out to either one of us. Love to hear, love to participate, and love to collaborate with folks. Unfortunately, this isn't as fun. I didn't get enough time to put into this, but if you want to tweet along with us, love to have you scan this. This should pop itself into a quick tweet. Everybody has turned off their camera, so I can't tell whether or not they're lifting up their phones to get in on the fun, but if you scan that, it should put a tweet together for you, just talking about working with Jitendra on digital experience. Our Stack champions, the people that participate to bring content to the group, without which there would be no group. Everyone is part of the news gathering, and we'll have some. We've been going over some of the news. It'll be a little bit light today. Waqaz Nasir, I didn't hear if you, I saw you come in, but I didn't hear you talk, Waqaz. Hopefully you're here. He's our security, App Exchange, and Apex resident expert. Boris Furman has recently joined as our Flows Stack champion. We're still missing what I'd hope to have some in-platform dev, news, formulas, admin participation features brought in from somebody. Integrations and integration as a platform as a service. I'm currently covering that seat. LWC is Nathan Schulman, and new and existing functions is Nana Gregg, and Moyez is still running our nonprofit stand-up with Anish Sampatki. A lot of this stuff is kind of parking lotted because of what COVID has done to moving and running around, but if you've got any ideas and want to participate in any of these verticals, please reach out. I didn't see Megan join, so I'm going to guess we don't have a Women in Tech update, and I don't think I saw Gregory Kralik join either. Raise your hand, or if somebody sees him raising his hand, please let me know, but I can't currently while I'm presenting. I didn't see him hop in. So we won't have any news for that this month. Our usual news, if you haven't seen it before, the calendar view of the Trailblazer community groups. This is my favorite link to promote. Scan this code right here and that will take you to it. That'll take you to a calendar view showing if you've got a few hours to fill that you can go learn something, you can go hit this and go drop in on any of the virtual community group sessions that are going on across the US. I think even Europe is in there as well. I hopped in on a Bay Area group and a Boston group just whenever I had time to kill. We have our new YouTube channel where we're hosting all of these sessions. I will try to get these, I'm trying to get the sessions uploaded quickly so we can share and review. And we also have a LinkedIn group if you're interested in connecting there and being able to talk. And I've just kind of picked up a co-admin role for Ohana Slack, which got a nice nod during the during one of the keynotes today, but Megan, our friend of our community, built the Ohana Slack workspace and environment, which has about 6,000 users in it now. So I may take our LinkedIn group and just start doing business over there in the Dallas area, but that's a really good place to communicate, and I'll be helping out more there in the future. Ame, did you have any announcements to add?
Yeah, I was gonna pop in here. So guys, a big shout out to Paul for carrying all these initiatives, and it's super cool. So please to take advantage of what he has started. It's amazing. And I would love to see us collaborating even more on these different channels. I don't have any further news for today, Paul. Back to you. Paul, I think you're on mute.
Thank you very much, Amay. Yep. So I'm not going to fight my microphone and PowerPoint presentation view to try and put another link in there. But if you want to see some of the top announcements that came out of Dreamforce, salesforceben.com has a really good article about the top 15 or so major announcements to come out. If you're just joining, one of the ones was workflows, not flows, workflows have been put on a deprecation path, but it will be a while. I think the only detail they shared was that they were just going to stop allowing new ones to be created, but the old ones would be editable for, or sorry, the existing ones would be editable for quite some time. So I think it's going to be a slow burnout on that, but that was one of the bigger, more clear things to come out. Boris, you sent me a note. Let me actually, I am going to pop up.
If you will let me share the screen, I can probably.
I will. Not there. Okay, give it a second and it should give you rights. Hey, Lars, welcome. I hope you got your house fixed. Welcome to the group. Welcome back. All right, Boris, are you about to present? You should have rights now.
Yeah, when I try to share my screen, it says disable participant screen sharing. So.
Sorry, once you're a panelist, I can do. All right, you should be able to do it now.
Yeah. Okay. Can you see my screen?
I can.
Okay. So I just created a pretty short list of features that will be available with winter 22 release on Flows. So the first one is like we were saying today, that basically Flows is the only automation tool, and the first feature is that outbound messages will be available in Flows. Basically, this will deprecate the need for workflows. Okay. Second feature, when we create a record triggered flow, if we scroll down, this is the steps we're doing today, right? So we create a record trigger flow, and we need to configure trigger, and then we choose the object, and we specify when the trigger is flow. We put the condition. So basically, we need to do 3 steps to start record triggering flow. And Salesforce now will have a single screen that all these configurations can be done in the beginning. By the way, when I was starting with flows and preparing for App Builder exam, I was like, man, I just don't understand. I have to go here and here. Why didn't have this screen? And now I actually have it. So it makes perfect sense.
Okay, and Boris, just FYI, and I'm sorry I didn't talk to you earlier. I didn't build a whole lot of time in here for preview. I know Jitendra's got a lot of information. We've got another presentation going, so may have to go with the short version of each of these if you don't mind, please.
Okay. Okay. So the next one is to be able to trigger subflow from flow. And ability to do rollback. So now we used to have read, create, update, delete. Now we can do rollback. We can relabel buttons. I'm trying to go as fast as I can. Okay, so when we do auto flow, now we can easily reconnect an element, so we don't need to relabel the auto flow again. So now, basically, flows will take off the life of the batch processes. So, like in Apex, we build batches. Now we can build them in flow. We can triggered flows. We can specify the batch size. So if you have complex batch, we can have less batch size to prevent the limits.
Oh, okay.
Fit the limits. So
That's
now
cool.
when on the triggered flow, we can also now specify minutes instead of hours and days. Now we have minutes. And now we can select a path when we do debugging. So that's it.
Outstanding. Thank you. Yeah, no, I'm excited about the batch size. I was planning on giving a presentation on the Automation Champion blog about kind of a hack that a couple of people and I put together to be able to get around the record limit inside of flow loop processing. So it'll be neat to see if that's now no longer necessary. So thank you very much for that, Boris. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Zoom has to make it easier at some point. Can you go ahead and stop sharing? And I will, I think I can just take it over. Yeah, my quick announcement. So I had talked about this, and Lawrence Reed and I were going to start working on giving some beginner intro classes for people that are in Salesforce that are wanting to learn development. And I reached out. There were actually a couple presentations going on around the same time. Adam Olshansky had been giving one called Demystifying Code for Admins, which is similar. I want to, for admins or Salesforce people or non-developers, highlight the knowledge you need to have, kind of the core developer knowledge, stuff you need, concepts you need to understand in order to start hopping into development. So concepts to learn before starting dev for non-developers. So I reached out to Adam, and Adam Olshansky is going to work with me on it's now a 7-part session on things you'll need to know. So I'm excited about that. I would love for everybody on the call to, if you have any ideas or things that you need to know. I've run into a lot of people trying to become developers and they just miss some basic stuff. So I want to outline those in a couple lists. If you got any ideas, please send it over. Waqaz, are you ready to present for us, sir? Waqaz has a little mini presentation for us on sockle injection.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Paul. Yeah, it'll be a quick presentation to you all on a topic, hopefully, which is familiar to all of you. Paul, I would probably need the same access that
Yep, doing it right now. It's just clunky with all the windows and the sharing and stuff. So
no problem.
I need about 7 monitors.
All right. Let me know when you're able to see my screen.
Gotcha. Security tip, avoiding sockle injection. This is a running, continuing little segment that Waqaz has been kind enough to build for us. Waqaz runs DigitSec a Salesforce security consulting company with their scanning tool. And he's always very nice and teaches us something every time. And I try to return the favor by reminding everybody what they do. So thanks, Waqas, for these. These are great little mini presentations.
It's a pleasure, Paul. I always enjoy talking about security, so appreciate the opportunity. So as many of you may know, SOCL is the way you interact with the Salesforce data store. It's similar to SQL, but it has its own limitations. Interestingly, if you think of SOCL injection, it comes from SQL injection, which is an attack which originally came about in the late 1990s. So if you think about it, this attack has been around for more than 2 decades. And interestingly, Salesforce came about much later than that, but they too struggle with this specific attack. Now, in case of SOCL, this is limited. With SQL injection, of course, it was much more attractive because that allowed attackers to not only gain access to data, but sometimes even run commands on database servers. So they were able to basically get remote access to machines that way. So it was much more severe. In case of Salesforce, not as severe, but still it can lead to data disclosure and things like that. So here's a simple sample vulnerable code. There's a function which gets a string type, and then there's a SOCL command, which is being constructed. It's basically looking for deleted context, and it gets passed to database.query. Now, database.query basically takes a string, and whatever that string says, it executes it. In this case, since we're concatenating and creating a SOCL command, a user can potentially manipulate that command. So what does that look like from an exploit's perspective? So this was the original string. If the user sends in this string as the input for last name, this will get interpreted like this, which is a valid SOCL command. But the result will be not just the deleted contact objects, but all contact objects. So user is able to get more data through this attack. Now, how to fix it? The best approach is to not use dynamic SQL as much as possible, but we know that sometimes the use case is such that you must use it, for example, in search-like queries and things like that. So the second tip is if you do need to use it, then use a bind variable. So concatenate the string that you're supposed to get into a variable and then pass that variable into SOCL instead of using database.query. Now, if you must use database.query, use escape single quotes for the user controlled input, and that will make your SOCL statement safe. The last point and the tip is that SOCL by design runs with system context. So if a user is able to manipulate SOCL, they can access whatever data they want. So it's always important that you also enforce sharing rules on your code and also do CRUD checks. So that was a brief tip on how to avoid SOCL injection.
Great, thank you very much for that. I hope that everybody has appreciated the Little Johnny Tables XKCD about SOCL injection. It is a long-running developer joke about SQL injection. Some parents named their kids with the son's name is Johnny delete star from user table. It's like, yep, we call them Little Johnny Tables. Like you realize that when we enrolled them in our school that deleted the entire school's database, you should have had a better injection control.
Yeah, no, that's a classic. The Little Johnny Tables, drop star table.
Yep.
The classic SQL command.
Yeah. Fortunately, yeah, you can't do that in SOCL, but there is still some other ways that you can abuse it. So you've got to be aware. And that is on my list of things new developers need to understand. It's basic for, if you're going into computer science, but not so basic whenever you're coming in from just having Salesforce experience. Sorry, go back to sharing. So next month, there were some big announcements in the architects group about LWC and LWR. Hey, and Nathan, are you on and able to talk about a little bit more detail about what we're going to get to see next month, or did you get a chance to work with Stefan Chandler Garcia on that?
We just talked, and he was telling me a little bit more about it, and it's hard to say what will be talked about, but there is some information out there, and it's limited, but there is a way to make an LWR app and Node, and some information about it. I thought his keynote was really good. If anybody's interested, but I think what's really important is to think of LWR as, I think what they explained and what he was explaining is that it's going to be the future of digital experience. And then the developer site, like when you land on developer site and you see how fast it is, that's built in LWR. It uses a lot of like templates to build really fast. That's all I know, but it's interesting stuff. It's super fast. The keynote was cool. It's one of the rare keynotes I've seen with code. So that's all I can tell you.
Yeah, and it's so yeah. Stefan and I caught up. He's presented a couple times for us. Good friend of the community. He's one of the developer evangelists. They've renamed that group the Developer Advocates, but he's part of a small team of people that are in charge of making code sound fun and cool. And so he does a really good job of exposing interesting parts of it. Now, it'll be interesting. I suggest everybody attend, because much of the stuff that he is wants to go over is on the edge of NDA and whether or not he can actually officially talk about it or it's publishable. So we will probably get some heads up and a little bit of edge on stuff that's about to be released or stuff that has been just announced officially days or hours before, based on what he has. So his information is usually hot off the presses. So I suggest everybody come to that. Let's see. So yeah, so that is the end of the slides. Jitendra, and I was glad to introduce you to a couple people. It's great to see you. One of the few faces that I actually got to recognize. Thank you for calling me out, because it's been so long since I've seen you in person. I didn't know who I was looking at. Jitendra, I am ready for you to take it away and entertain people.
Sure. Let me share my screen.
Yeah, let me stop sharing and make sure you have rights. You should be set, sir.
Okay. And can you all see my screen? You can do everything.
You can do anything. Get up and do it.
Okay, give me just 1 minute. Let me adjust everything here. Okay. Okay, so I'm just setting up all the chat and everything. So let me share my slide now. You all can see, right?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. So thanks, Paul, and hey, everyone. So my name is Jitendra Zaa. I am a Salesforce certified technical architect. I will say 8 times Salesforce MVP. I'm also associate partner at IBM. I have around 28 Salesforce certifications. And if you want to connect with me, you can follow me on the Twitter. You can find the website by my name, and you can connect with me on the LinkedIn. So topic for today is
sorry, Jitendra, hold on. You just kind of glossed over that CTA thing that you just passed. That's one of the premier elite certifications done by panel interview at Salesforce. I think there's less than 100 in the world right now. Do you have the total number?
I think it's around 350 now.
350? Okay, so it's gone up by quite a bit. So just recently passed. Congratulations. And I'm not going to let you forget to announce that. That's outstanding. So thank you again for coming to talk to us, sir.
Thank you so much, Paul. And again, before I go proceed, I would really like to thank all of you from the Dallas Developer Group. I know what it takes to organize an events like this. A lot of works are happening behind the scene. Communication with the speakers, making sure all the newsletter, everything is going out properly. So Paul, Moez, Ame, everyone, thank you so much for inviting me and having me today here. So we are going to cover a few things. First of all, we are going to understand what exactly is the state on support for the customer. What exactly is the digital experience? Why do you need a digital experience, a digital engagement, sorry. And I think if you have never heard about the digital engagement, this session is going to be very interesting for you. We will be talking about a little bit what are the channels, data model, and I have a working demo that I would be showing you that how the digital engagement works. So starting with, as we know, right, the technology landscape is ever changing, and with that, the customer's expectation is also changing. Like Paul said initially, right, he's writing a code, I think, since more than 20-25 years now, and he has seen world getting changed from basic mainframe to basic to VB to Java, Salesforce, cloud computing, AWS, and so on. Now, the kind of the technology that is changing, at the same time, the expectations from the customers are also changing. So definitely it's a good news that the world is getting connected day by day. The virtual distance between someone is getting virtually nothing, right? However, that poses a huge challenge, huge risk in front of the business, but at the same time, a huge opportunity. And we will talk about that. So I would really like to have this conversation a little bit interactive. So I would ask a question to all of you on the call. Feel free to post on chat, feel free to unmute yourself and tell me a few ways. So let's say you plan to purchase something. Let's say you plan to purchase, let's say, refinance mortgage, or maybe the auto loan, or maybe you are purchasing something, trying to find a furniture or something, right? How many ways you would try to connect to the company? So let's say I'm saying right now, hey, go ahead and purchase, let's say, brand new rig for cryptocurrency mining. What would you do right now if you have to purchase the rig for cryptocurrency? Anyone?
I'd go to Amazon and get the ant miner.
Awesome. So basically you would go on the e-commerce website, Paul, right? So that's your answer. So first thing you would do is e-commerce. I see answers from Charlie that he will try to get a phone number. He will try to phone someone. Maybe he will try to send an email, message, website. That's very good. And the chat. Anyone else? So let's go. I think we have an answer, and thank you so much, Paul and Charlie, for answering these questions. So what we would do, right? If I have to purchase a cryptocurrency rig right now, of course, I will go on the website. Either I will go on Amazon, I will use a Google or something. If I find the number somewhere, right? Like Charlie already mentioned, I will try to send an SMS. I will try to send an email. Or I can try to go on the social channel like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever the channel is. Maybe the WhatsApp, if I have a WhatsApp number or something, right? That's where I would go. So if you think about it, right, there are so many ways in today's world that the customer can contact any company. And we all right now on the call around all the participants here, directly or indirectly, being in the Salesforce ecosystem, you are working with some customers like that. Either you are working in the health industry, either you are working with the retail, traveling. The agenda or the main reason we all are here implementing the Salesforce is to get the revenue, either sell, upsell, cross sell, right? So that's definitely multiple channels we are saying. Now another question I have is, let's say you are searching for the rig, okay, cryptocurrency rig, and you got 3-4 options. What is the decision? How would you decide, let's say on Amazon, that which rig would you purchase? Or let's say on the Google result or maybe email call, how would you decide that, okay, this is the company I want to go, this is the product I want to go, and this is what I'm going to purchase? How would you take that decision? Because we have hundreds of options available right now. Anyone?
Power, heat, and noise.
What you
And
said?
power, heat, noise, and coin revenue.
Perfect. So Paul, you're really talking about the feature, right? That the
Yes.
now let's assume that there are multiple vendors available. So that same rig is provided by, let's assume, Amazon, Walmart, Target, let's say Kroger. Now, which one would you choose? Or maybe if there is some other vendors, other parties, right now we have so many options. Which option would you choose? From where you're going to purchase it?
I
Most
guess
probably,
you would ask your friend and see what his experience is, and then
that's very good. That is definitely a one way. Indirectly, we are saying here, you will ask a friend and you will try to understand from friend that, okay, what is the kind of the service? What is your experience overall? Are they customer centric? Indirectly, we are saying that, right? Correct. Paul, what we are saying is the feature, right? Personally, in my opinion, and just to give you an example, we all know that mortgage rate and everything is extremely low right now. And I was trying to find a lender for me for the refinance. It's just like 2-3 weeks back. And I contacted multiple companies for the mortgage. So like better.com and so on. And trust me, the company that I went with was the company who was there kind of immediately with me. Immediately they replied, they were very prompt, right customer experience, personalized experience. That's where personally I went with, because I have so many options, right? Amazon, right? Why would someone go with Amazon? The one most important factor about Amazon compared to Walmart is the speed at which they ship, how their systems are connected, right? So if you see, right, you should be the company where you're going to purchase, they should be very easily accessible, right? You should be able to contact that company by call, SMS, social channel. Maybe they should have a nice website, right? That is definitely an important piece here. And then quick personalized response. Now, personally, this is the most important factor for me. I am calling 5-6 people, 5-6 number. I left the voicemail. Whoever calls me back, 1 or 2 number, I try to understand what is their business. And of course, I try to talk with my friends, some review, and deal done. I don't have a time for 5 days or 10 days to wait for the companies to reply back slowly and taking the slow decision. It's a fast moving world, fast moving technology, right? Now, the most important thing about next is the data privacy and trust. Now, all the cases that we have seen in the last few years, if someone is calling you and saying, hey, give me the last 4 digits of your social security number, or give me your mobile number, right? We all are scared. I mean, if I give my mobile number, they will start spamming my number, start sending an SMS. If I share my email, they would start sending spam emails on my email. I'm really not very comfortable now sharing all those personal information. Now that's where I'm going here is you need to have an app. I'm not talking about the Salesforce at the moment at all. All I'm talking about is the current state of the technology, customer experience, right? So these are the extremely most important things, at least in my opinion, that we really need to care about. So coming back here, right, let's assume you need to implement a system where you need to have a data privacy at your heart, okay, security at heart. All those channels should be supported. All the data should be at the fingertips. SMS, Twitter, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, everything should be in a one system. The question is that even possible? I mean, what do I need in that case? Let's say I have some other application, just an example, right? Not to offend anyone, but let's say I have a Microsoft Dynamics, right? Maybe I have a Siebel, or maybe I have some other system, right? Do you think there is even a single system right now existing which can have everything natively available with you, right? Do I need a CRM? Do I need a Twilio for the WhatsApp integration? Do I need some SMS tool? How about my privacy? How about my compliance? How about my regulation? Now my company is multi-country, right? I need a software that would work in US and that would work in Europe as well, right? How would I handle my GDPR in the Europe versus the, let's say, California Act and all the privacy policies that we have in the United States? Think about it, right? Does any systems come into your mind? One system to rule all. Anyone? Again,
Digital
yeah,
Salesforce.
right? Yeah. So the one product that is going to rule all of these is, of course, Salesforce. Privacy and everything, we know, right, that Salesforce data centers are extremely secure. They have the highest possible IT security available there. There is a login security, there is a profile security, there is a record security, sharing rules. So security comes as a foundation of the Salesforce. Data, reporting, everything is already there. You do have a data. The missing piece is the channels that we are talking about, all the channels, all the social channel, SMS, WhatsApp, and that's where the product named digital experience or digital engagement comes into the picture. So team, if anyone have any question, please feel free to post a question on the chat. I have chat open in front of me, so I should be able to see immediately. So I will take a pause and think about it, right? That what problem exactly we are trying to solve here, right?
So Jitendra, if I can ask, this is one of you're delving into one of my favorite topics, which is user experience. And some of the topics that you're talking about, looks like you're hitting customer journey mapping. So, which is mapping out all the touch points that a user is connecting with a particular brand. Service design, which is trying to plan for all of the touch points that somebody would match on there, where are we going with digital engagement? Are you all inclusive? Are you talking mostly with the marketing and those kind of feedback points? Are you talking all of the possible channels, which I don't believe Salesforce has touch points for all of them, but they do have them for a lot of them.
Yes, Paul. Yeah, very well point, right? So I'm coming back to that one. So where the digital experience would come into the picture, your sales team. So let's say someone already have just to give you an example of the mortgage company. Let's say you have auto insurance, right? Now you already have one product. There is an opportunity to cross sell a user of auto insurance to your house insurance, house mortgage, right? So for that, you already have a sales cloud in Salesforce, right? You already have opportunity, all those good stuff, right? However, there is another aspect here. In today's world, like I said, if I want to purchase something, there are multiple ways I can go ahead. I can send an SMS, I can call. Do we have anything in Salesforce right now other than the CTI? Again, for the CTI, you need a service cloud license. So for the sales team, do you have a channel where someone can try to purchase your product from social media, from WhatsApp, from the, let's say, Twitter, Facebook Messenger? At the moment, no. Or before this, no. Coming back, so that's a sales part. Now coming to the service part. So one of the gentlemen in today's call said that, okay, I'm going to ask my friend. That's a very valid. Selling a product initially is one part, but retaining the customer, giving the world-class customer experience is what going to retain your customer and going to increase your revenue year by year. So for that, that's where it comes from the service cloud. Now we all know in the service cloud at the moment, we do have a web chat, we do have a CTI. There are so many app exchange product available for this computer telephony. If you don't know, that's CTI. We do have a bots, right? However, in the service cloud, if you want to connect, let's say with the Twitter, Facebook, again, all those social channels, what do we need? We need another product, maybe marketing cloud, maybe something else. Now the problem is the user experience. Salesforce Service Cloud one side, Marketing Cloud another side, even though they are very well integrated, they're still two different products. User experience needs to come first. And there is no problem on using 10 different products. The problem is how much time you're going to spend between the swivel chair, between the application, how much learning, onboarding is going to happen. Everybody needs to understand, oh, to send an SMS, I need to use this product and I need to take care of these 10 things. To connect with the Twitter, I have to use this product. I have to log in here. Then I have to remember these 10 things. So the user experience is definitely not going to work. What digital engagement does is it combines all the channels together in a single omni channel. You no need to, and I'm going to show the demo. You no need to worry about who is calling and who is connecting from where. for the customer service rep or the sales rep, it is going to be single transaction, single point of contact. And we will see in the demo that how easy Salesforce makes all these channels come together on the platform. However, if you think about, right, the nature of the channels that we just talked about, their nature is completely different. Now, this is real time versus non-real time. If someone is calling you, let's take an example, CTI integration. Can you wait, or someone must pick that call? Anyone? So the calling, is it a real-time example or it is not real-time? Basically, if someone is trying to contact your contact center, the agent in the contact center should be immediately available to the respond. Can someone give me an example of those kind of the channel where the response is immediately needed? Anyone? One is CTI. Any other example? Very good, Krishna. Live agent, chat, exactly. If someone is connecting with us, you cannot ask them to wait, right? Of course, 911 CTI, right? So depending on all these channel, digital engagement divides all the channels in the two parts, real time versus non-real time. So first is definitely computer telephony, CTI, someone is calling 911 or whatever the case, that is the real-time channel. You must reply immediately. Web chat, that is the real-time scenario. If someone is trying to chat with you on the internet, of course, you need to have someone immediately available to respond. Now, all the other channels, if I say, is a non-real time. You don't need the agent to be available immediately. For example, someone is submitting an inquiry on the website or someone is sending an email, that's okay. Now, normally the response time is 2 hours or maybe 1 or 2 business days. If someone is trying to contact us from the social channel like Twitter, Instagram, they are not expecting you to come immediately. They post a message, maybe you go back in 30 minutes or maybe within a 1 or 2 business day. Again, that's a non-real time. WhatsApp, someone is trying to contact to your company via WhatsApp. Again, they are not expecting you to immediately respond by WhatsApp. Same goes with SMS and same goes with the Facebook Messenger. Okay. So these are all some of the channels. So all the greens are a non-real time or the red ones are the real time. And if you think about, you are an architect or you are a developer, or let's say you are an admin, if I ask you to build a common platform, this is a huge problem to solve. Like I said, user experience is extreme. How would you get all these channels together with the same UI, same interface, same experience? And that's where the digital engagement comes to the answer to all these questions are the digital experience. All the digital channels that we have in today's world is coming under the same umbrella. And just to give you some more example, there are channels like WeChat. WeChat is one of the largest messaging platform being used in China. Apple Business Chat. So these are few examples where Salesforce is still investing and Salesforce still enabling those channels. So in the future, let's say some super social media again comes into the picture, something like Facebook, you no need to worry about. If you have a Salesforce digital engagement, it would keep innovating every year, every quarter. And if the new channel comes, Salesforce would keep adding those channels behind the scene in the digital experience, giving you the unified view and unified experience. Okay. Coming to some of the terminology that we are going to use, and if you want, you can take the screenshot of here. So we are going to, most of us already know what is SMS. We already know what is an MMS. The long code number is the 10-digit, normally the phone number that you and me, we all have. That is known as a long code number. Short code number is like 4 to 8-digit, very short code number that can be used by company, that can be shared by the company. Now, the person to person is the best example of the web chat. So someone is inquiring on your company and your customer agent is directly interacting with the web chat. That is a P2P example. A2P example is again the web chat with the chat bot. So chat bot is trying to respond to the chat. That's the example of A2P. So these are some of the terminology that we might use. So please keep that in mind. If anyone have any question, please post it before I go on the next slide. Some of the consideration that we are going to talk. Okay. So few of the consideration. Now, as we all know, Salesforce being a multi-tenant platform, there is always a governor limit. Now, the question to all of you, do you all think that the considerations that we are going to talk about, like short code, long code, WhatsApp, is that going to be because of the technology issue or because something else? Any idea, anyone? So the consideration, the limitations in all these channels that we are going to talk, definitely the governor limit is one thing. Because of the being the multi-tenant platform, one tenant should not acquire more resources than the other ones. That is for the safeguard. Any other idea that why would Salesforce put some limit on all these digital channels? Anyone?
Consistency.
Very good. Anything else? Charlie, awesome. Perfect. So Charlie is on point. So all the channels that we are going to talk about, unfortunately, Salesforce is not the owner. If you think about this slide, Salesforce does not own CTI. Salesforce definitely owns web chat. Salesforce owns web, maybe email, but Salesforce don't own Twitter, not WhatsApp, not SMS, not the Facebook Messenger. These all systems are the separate entities and they are bounded by the laws and the regulations. So, and Salesforce need to make sure that they are following the law of country, law of the government, whatever they have, plus the law of and the compliance limitations of all these applications, because we are really integrating to system. As an end user, we may not even know what is going behind the scene, right? However, Salesforce is not owning all this system. There is definitely going to be some consideration that we really need to keep in mind. So first of all, I would talk about broadcast message. Can anyone tell me what do you mean by broadcast? Anyone? Any example of the broadcast? During the Black Friday deal or something, right? We get a message saying, okay, there's 3% deal in the Macy's or 30% deal in the Macy's, right? Those are the promotional broadcast message. Now, question to all of you. Yes, I mean, very good. Kind of the Amber Alert. Yes. Now, the question to all of you, have you seen that kind of message in WhatsApp or from 10-digit number or on Twitter at mentioning you, Jitendra Zaa, this is the sale, something like that, or Facebook at mentioning me, Jitendra Zaa, this is the deal? Think about it and answer, and the consideration is all in front of you. So there are some limitations that who can broadcast the message. You have never seen Twitter, Facebook, WhatsApp broadcasting message to you because that's the regulation. They cannot do. The only channel that supports bulk broadcast message is SMS. Exactly, Pratik. So SMS is the only channel where you would see the broadcast message. Now the long number, like 10-digit number, could be used for the broadcast, but then the carriers like AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, they will block it because they are also bound by the compliance and the regulations by those industry. Now all the broadcast message that is going to be used by SMS short code must be templated. You cannot just simply go ahead and write a random number and send to the millions of the user. Those templates needs to be approved by the carrier. Either it can be the AT&T, Verizon, or whatever the carrier you have in your country. Okay. Coming to the short code considerations. Okay. So Paul, I see your comment. What about the Chipotle?
They just spam me with messages. I got 3 Chipotle brisket burrito messages yesterday within an hour of each other.
And do you observe that the message came from Chipotle is from the 10-digit number or the 4 to 8-digit number?
I think it's a 10-digit number.
Okay, yeah. So I'm not sure how they are doing it because otherwise the carriers would block it. Normally, those kind of the messages comes from the short code. Okay. So Shortcode must follow the carrier compliance. Again, it's a great power. You can send really a message to the millions of users, and definitely that comes with the huge responsibility. It is definitely recommended for high volume messaging. Auto response of the shortcode cannot be more than 160 characters. End users must, now this is extremely important, consent. The end user must provide consents explicitly before someone is getting you the message. So Paul, you must have provided consent somewhere. And in the 99% cases, if you want to stop that, just reply that number either by stop or end, END. They have to follow that. That's the rule. That's the policy, at least in the US. If you're getting the broadcast message, use these keywords, either end or the stop. They would remove you from that whole list of the users where you're getting a messages.
That's GDPR and CCPA. I've got some questions about that I can ask later, because
Yeah.
those are voluntarily followed regulations, and they are not very well enforced, which is some of what disrupts that channel.
Yes, we can definitely talk about that. Okay. So again, the shortcode is only supported in the US and the Canada. Again, I am not sure on this statement because there is a list where they have showed all the country and everything. And I have my colleague who is using digital engagement for the messages in the Europe as well, but they are using with a long code. Okay, so we really need to be careful. If you are trying to apply for the shortcode, you have to talk to your carrier. Basically, technology is not a problem here. Salesforce has the technology, getting that number is the problem. And we will see how we are going to set up that one. Okay. Now, before I go, question for all of you. How many of you know what exactly is SDO? Okay. How many of you know what is a developer org or the trial org? And that's the hint for SDO. So SDO is the new kind of org available to all the partners. If you're working in Accenture, IBM, Deloitte, right, log into your partner community, and there is a sample demo org. That's what I'm going to use today. Now, these orgs are the great free org where you will have a lot of features enabled. You don't need to have a trial org, you need to install the App Exchange products, etc. For example, I need a digital engagement, I can create SDO. If I want a CPQ, I will. So check out that sample demo org. That's really kind of the powerful feature that I have started using in the last few months. Okay, coming back to the long code consideration, I would quickly scan through it. So it only supports in-country number. So basically the number of US cannot send a message to someone in Canada. So that compliance has to be followed. The good thing is a lot of countries are supported here. It's not only for the US and Canada, a lot of European countries are supported here. The maximum number of the characters are going to be 840. Before I go again, I am going to ask a few questions to all of you. I'm not sure if Paul is going to distribute something to the winner, but let's have some trivia here. Okay, number one. Which messaging application right now is used by the most of the people on the planet? Any answer?
WeChat.
Mm-hmm. John, anyone else? Okay. I will not consider answer from my wife. So John, you're right. The answer is WhatsApp. We know that WeChat is very famous in China, but still WhatsApp kind of ahead of everyone. I'm going to show some stats here again. Another question. How many people are using WhatsApp globally? Any rough number? Okay. John is coming with 3 billion. Anyone else? Pearl, right answer. It is definitely in the billions. Any other guess? Guess how many people are using WhatsApp? Ame 3.1. Okay. So the correct answer is right now it's almost 2 billion users per month. I'm not talking about active, maybe the total number of the user active, maybe 3 billion or no, I'm talking about how many active users. Okay. Now the next question. Again, the guess. How many messages are being exchanged by WhatsApp per day? Go wild. If the total number of the users are 2 billion, even if the one user is sending 3-5 messages per day, think about the number per day. John is coming with 200 billion, Nathan is 5 billion. Anyone else? Sujay in trillions. Okay. Pearl gave 10 billions plus answer, and the right answer right now, as per the last month, is almost 65 billion messages per day. I would not be surprised from the answer of Sujay if this number passes trillion, because more and more people have started using the WhatsApp. And think about it, right? Which application is completely encrypted end to end? What that means is, can a Twitter messages be used or by hacked by, let's say someone get an access to the Twitter server or something, can that be hacked? Okay, SMS, right? Facebook. Yes, Nathan is right. So the WhatsApp is the platform where there are so many news are going on. All the messages that is being exchanged and that is being stored are completely encrypted. So whatever the message you have in the WhatsApp is super safe. Definitely there are problems in the WhatsApp that your name, your information is being shared. Again, if something is free, you are the product. So you are the product of the WhatsApp, but it's only your name and your number. The content inside your messages, as per the WhatsApp policy, those are completely encrypted. Okay, so coming back, though all those hypes and everything was around WhatsApp, that's the #1 application right now on the planet by the population. And to avoid spam, they really maintain the integrity, and the multiple limits are applied on the WhatsApp. For example, you cannot send the broadcast messages and everything, right? Everything is encrypted on the server. And the WhatsApp can only be used by the business account. Unless you have your own company, you can prove it. Again, you have to go through the whole process with the Facebook and the WhatsApp team. You cannot enable WhatsApp on your org. As a developer, as an MVP, I cannot simply go ahead and I can enable the WhatsApp in digital engagement. And that is the reason today we don't have a demo of the WhatsApp, just to show you why it is very hard to get the WhatsApp access here. Again, WhatsApp does not support outbound promotional bulk message. Every message, just like SMS short code, every outgoing message must be templated and it must be approved by WhatsApp team. Okay. Again, before I go on actual demo, the 2 things I would like to cover. Again, I will not take more than 5 minutes. High level data model. So if you want, take a screenshot, especially for the CTA candidates, if you're preparing for CTA. I mean, it's good to know how the things are working. So as you can see, every time when someone is trying to contact you, either you're initiating or someone coming back to you, the record is stored in the messaging session. Now it's a polymorphic field, basically. So messaging session can be the child of lead, opportunity, case, person account. And the messaging session, again, like we saw in the digital engagement, there are multiple channels. There are like Twitter, Facebook, WhatsApp. What are those channels? So channel is going to be the parent, and with whom you are talking to. Messaging, who is the messaging user? So that can be either you're talking to either lead, contact, person. And if you have a work.com license, you might be talking to the employee. So those would be connected by the messaging users. And again, we have a messaging template that is approved by WhatsApp and the SMS team. That's where the data would be stored here. I will take a pause before I'm going to demo, and I will like to see if anyone have any question. I see a question from John. How can you handle the multi-language messages with digital engagement? I am not sure, John. I never tried that. But what is that answer? There is some answer I see. App Exchange.
So, yeah, so we actually work with Estee Lauder on all their digital engagement in Europe with WhatsApp. So they actually use translation, that App Exchange Translation Studio app, and it's actually pretty cool. We have digital engagement on our Salesforce org.
Okay.
And we have a business, but you can literally send messages in 100+ languages. They come into digital engagement, and you can respond in English. and then it
Mhm.
goes back into, any literally, like, I think it even works with what are all the Star Wars languages?
Klingon and
It supports Klingon, and it supports like
Thermian.
Wookiee and all those.
Nice.
So, John, definitely, I think that deserves a dedicated session. If Paul can get you in the Dallas developer group, that's great. Otherwise, I will invite you in my group.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
It
So that-
has to be in Kashik in Wookiee. So I will
Let's do it.
I will
Yep.
host any session given in Klingon.
Klingon. Let's do it.
All right.
Awesome, awesome. Thanks, John, for sharing the information. Definitely, this is a product which is kind of very new, like 1 or 2 years, but I see a lot of momentum and the need of our right now, the product like this. Okay. Last thing, I would like to share my mind map. Whatever we just discussed, I have a mind map, and we will just go through it quickly just to see what we just discussed in a shortcut. Okay, so I'm here. Everybody can still see my screen, right? Okay, so let's start with the mind map here. How do you remember whatever I just talked about to you about the digital engagement? Okay, so first of all, what exactly is the digital engagement? Okay, I would start with service. So digital engagement is basically a tool, okay, that helps you on the social customer service, that supports chat, that supports self-service is also the part of digital engagement. Embedded services for mobile, there are multiple tools available. I think John's tool needs to be included here, what he just mentioned on the App Exchange. There are bots and the messaging. We will go by one node at a time. So Service Cloud Einstein, part of the digital engagement, supports Einstein automatically article suggestion, basically by Einstein, all the heavy lifting done by them. And basically that supports intelligent natural language processing, and it works for all the messaging channels. Now, Service Cloud Einstein also supports AI like chatbots for the SMS, chat, voice activity, etc. There is also another product named Einstein Case Classification. What that exactly does is it predicts the type of the case on the basis of the historical data, and you don't need to fill those values. If those values are empty, Einstein Case Classification would do automatically, and it would help you in the faster and the more accurate case routing. Coming back to the social, there is another product, social customer service, as a part of the digital engagement, which we are talking about, which supports connecting by Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, just to name few. You can use this product to create a case or lead, and it also supports inbound and outbound social post. Coming to the web chat, we already know we are using the live chat, live messaging, right? So here, if I ask you a question, you have a call center. Can a person handle 2 or 3 calls at the same time? But can a person handle 5 chat at the same time? So think about it. The chat is one of the most famous and one of the most accepted customer support service channel. Just to give my example again, when I'm on a meeting and let's say I have some problem with my billing or something, I just have a web browser open on my side. I just keep chatting with that person, and I'm not hanged up on my call. So it is effective for me, and it is also effective for my call center, and it's a cost effective and quick way to get your answers. So chat definitely is one of the most famous web chat, one of the most accepted customer service channel. Going back to the self-service, as we all know, again, pardon, it's not community. They renamed it to the Experience Cloud now. So in the Experience Cloud, you can have an article, you can have a chatter, questions, chatbot that you can enable, and these all comes under the umbrella of digital engagement. Again, if you have a native mobile application you are building, or maybe you are building the hybrid mobile application and you need to support digital engagement there is a external embedded service that you can use there, and that supports chat, knowledge, and the case creation capability. Now, coming back to some external tools that is supported. So the one tool on App Exchange, which I really like, is the conversation notification. You install that tool, and whenever someone is trying to connect to the agent, you get a Google Chrome notification. I would definitely like to add John's tool here as well for the multi-language, which would help, which is nothing but extension to the digital engagement. Coming back to the bot, So bot supports multi-language. You can take an action, as we already know, Einstein bot, you can take action using Apex, Flow. The good thing about the bot is you can connect the bot to the messages, short message, long message, you can connect on the WhatsApp, and you can use really a bot to gather all the initial information from the customer and then redirect to the actual agent. And what that does is it saves the time of the agent. At the same time, it avoids the frustration between the customer that why I have to provide information again and again to the multiple people. So that's where chatbot will be very helpful. It is very proven case deflection technique and very successful technique here. You need to build your chatbot once and then you deploy on your WhatsApp, Twitter, everywhere. Again, that supports natural language processing as well. It can detect your text, your intent, or it also can be the menu based. Coming back to the last node of the digital engagement, which is the messaging part. Now you can send a message by using a process builder in the flow as well. It supports WhatsApp, it supports SMS, Facebook Messenger. You can send the notification, you can alert like shipping has been done or order has been dispatched, something like that. Consent management is inbuilt, and we are going to see the demo how that works. Coming back to the SMS.
Is that WhatsApp or WhatsApp?
WhatsApp, my bad.
WhatsApp used to be a network monitoring tool. I was wondering if that was back in play.
It's my bad. It's a WhatsApp. Okay. So team, that's all about the mind map. This kind of summarizes the whole digital experience, what is under this umbrella. And we all know the chat. I mean, we have been working with the chat almost like 6-7 years now, right? To be honest, I was also surprised when they launched the digital experience. They put everything in the terms of that digital experience, and that really makes a sense. So anyone have any question here before I go on demo side?
No, this is an amazing diagram of the concepts around it. This is the first time I've ever seen anybody put all of them together on a single diagram to show people where they are, where they fork, and where they branch. I've been around since they grew up, but for a lot of people, this is, yeah, I'm grabbing screenshot after screenshot on this. I hope you'll share your lucid chart with me later, because
Sure,
I'd love to share that. This is a great diagram.
Thank you. So let me see if anyone have any question on the chat. I don't see any questions, so I will go ahead and I will start the demo. Let me see if I have a browser properly open. So
you know, one other really interesting thing about WhatsApp, Facebook just updated their terms of service last week, and they're going to allow ads. And so obviously an ad on WhatsApp is going to go into a messaging channel. So if you're a brand, you know, and you're trying to target certain consumers, you could run an ad and then drive them into a channel and then have an Einstein bot interacting with the consumer and then transfer that chat into a live agent.
Awesome. And John, does that going to support the promotional messages also? If they are going in that business, they are going to support the broadcast messaging as well?
Yes.
Okay. And how about the privacy? And like WhatsApp right now is encrypted. Nobody can read our messages or scan the messages. Do you know what is happening with that feature?
I don't know. I would assume it's still encrypted and secure.
Okay. Okay, so I need help from all of you. Okay, I am going to share a number with all of you here in the demo, and go ahead, send a message to this number. Okay, and I am going to make myself available here. As you all can see, I am logging to the org where I have my number enabled. I'm first going to show the demo, and then I'm going to show how to set up everything. So go ahead, send a hi message there. And I am going to make, let's say I'm an agent, I'm a customer support rep, and I just logged into my org. So I see someone messaged me, hello from MA. As you can, so if you have worked on the CTI integration, or if you have worked with the, let's say, web chat, see the user experience team. If you are first time seeing the digital engagement, for me as an agent, I don't care from where the message came, right? My interface is still this small pop-up window. that I always has been using as a CTI. I have been using it with the live chat. Okay, or maybe I have been using for all the instances. So yeah, as you can see, multiple messages start coming. So hello from Amaya. Let's see. Another one is loading. I'm going to accept all those. Okay, I'm going to send hi as well. So let's see. As you can see, I'm a single agent right now, and I am going to handle all of you at the same time, thanks to the digital experience. Okay, so I will. Okay, let's reduce it. Are you guys getting the automated message that someone is going to touch base on you or something like that?
Yes.
That concept is known as a consent in digital. If the customer is connecting, so if the customer is connecting to the company from themselves, that means they are automatically opting in to the messages. They already giving the consent because they are the one who initiated all the conversation, right? So I will say, yeah, pardon my spelling mistake here. And I have started replying all of you. What happened? Okay, anyways, so I think that's enough. You all understood how the SMS is working here, right, everyone? Now, I would like all of you to do one more thing here, okay? Don't worry what that website is. That is a website of one of my friend, that Facebook. Go on this Facebook page and start the conversation. 1 minute. And again, I am the agent. Let's say in some company. I need a unified view to support my customer. Go ahead on this page. There should be a chat with me button. Go ahead and use that and say hi again. So I'm going to end the conversation here. Again, these are non-real-time conversations. Yes, sir. Your car warranty is going to expire very soon. Please contact us immediately. So please go ahead on the Facebook page that I just shared. As now you can see, the few messagings are still there waiting from the 1 minute, 3 minute. I have not accepted that, but now I started getting the Neeraj Minimart message. Okay, that's the Facebook Messenger. As an end user, if you see my screen, there is no difference. The same way I was talking as an SMS, the same way right now I'm talking with the Facebook Messenger, the unified view. That's exact. No training needed. As a call center agent, all we have to do is segment our customer service, that okay, who is going to support Facebook, who is going to support WhatsApp, who is going to support SMS, web, and they are going to use the same exactly Service Cloud, same omni channel, and you can go ahead and you can discuss with them. And as you can see, consent management and everything, as you can see here, John opted in receiving message. So the consent management in the digital experience is out of the box. So you don't need to really worry about compliance or the regulations and all those kind of stuff. Okay. Any question, anyone in these two demos? Okay. If not, let me show you how to do it.
So I have one question. So around consistency, so
Mhm.
SMS messages are usually have so many characters before they're broken up into multiple messages, and different carriers handle that differently. Facebook Messenger probably has a different amount of characters limit. Do you, and I don't know if you're about to demo that, but that's what I was asking about consistency. If you're hopping across multiple channels, you've got different restrictions on each channel, and you've got to keep up with those. So I
Right.
didn't see anywhere where it said, messages longer than this will not work on this app or this one.
Okay. So there, I have not mentioned it multiple places, but if you see here, right, for the long code, maximum character is 840. And I have not tested it, but I think Salesforce would throw an error or something, or maybe the carrier will throw an error. Because if there is any error, you would see that error immediately on the messaging console. Okay. And for the short code, if you see, the total number of the character is 160 character. So the short code and the long code have a different limits. And again, those limits are enforced by carriers. Okay. So I have not tested it, but I'm expecting the digital experience should handle those limits by giving the clear error or warning. Let me try quickly. Okay. I still have one message left. Let's see. I'm not sure who the victim is here. Let me try. See, that's the fun of doing live demo. I'm not sure if it's gonna work or not. Let's see. Okay, so I have this, and I'm not sure who this person is. Please let us know what just happened. So here is the error. Okay, you can't send this message because the message body is too large. So you do get this kind of error, Paul.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to know where that showed up, or whether it gave some kind of guidance that this message won't work on these. It'll work on MMS, but it won't work on SMS, or it'll work on Twitter, but it'll work on Facebook, but it won't work on Twitter. And if you hit those, or if you have to send something that is always under 64 characters, because that's the WhatsApp, free provider limit or something like that, whether you have to use the least common denominator when you're sending messages to the tool.
Yeah, just to show you MMS message. Okay, I am going to send MMS message to this person. Okay. Again, standard Salesforce UI, everything. I will go ahead and I will upload a file. My system is extremely slow. Okay. So let me one screenshot.
And that's probably Zoom. Zoom slows everything down.
Zoom was better. I think it's becoming WhatsApp now. Sorry, WebEx now. Okay. I should be having a screenshot that I just took. Let me send the survey data model. That's fine. So I am going to send the file. So you can see this person, and again, it's not a real-time message. So don't expect that file would go immediately. This file will take some time, maybe 1 minute or 2 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, but that file would be delivered and it would be displayed here. Okay. Okay. So that's all right. So let's see how to set it up. So what I did is I went on the partner learning camp. If you know, like I said, go ahead, create your demo org. And in the demo, you get a number. So I have not activated this number. But if you want to add a new channel, it's a very straightforward. Click on the new. So first of all, go on admin setup, enable the messaging. If you already have a license, great, it's already enabled. But let's say you want to try the SDO org. So I'm going to say, okay, go ahead, create a new channel, and all the supported channel or where you have a license would appear here. So at the moment, it's only SMS, WhatsApp, and Facebook Messenger it is showing. If you go ahead and say, okay, I'm going to use SMS message. So this is, you are going to have a letter of authorization where you have to download it, you have to sign it, you have to send it back, and you have to inform Salesforce that, okay, you're not going to use that for inappropriate. I mean, there are some compliance and the regulatory things there. Salesforce would take like 2-3 days and they will approve it. Once they are done, you're all set to go. That would work exactly the way we just saw it. Another way, a Facebook Messenger. Let me try if I can show live demo of the Facebook. Hopefully it will work. Let's see. Give me 1 minute. What is my username? So Nathan is asking, I was able to send emoji. Does MMS work? Yes, MMS would work. I mean, I have sent a message. Please confirm if you got that one. If not, I can try again. But I have tested it. MMS does work. So this is the org.
I tried to send, but it's not working on my phone. I don't have MMS for some reason.
Okay.
Burner phone.
Okay. And it should work. We tested that one. So I'm going to authenticate my Facebook Messenger. So I'm going to go ahead. It will ask me authenticate a Facebook. It will open OAuth flow here. I am already logged into the Facebook. So it will just ask me to give the consent again. So I'm saying, okay, go ahead. This is the OAuth name. I will say continue as my name. And more, what it is going to do is it is going to show all the pages, Facebook pages, where I am kind of an admin. So right now it is showing 2 page, path to code in the Neeraj Minimart. You all tested by this. If I go ahead and path to code, I can go ahead. So if you all observed, when you try to contact with me, you got a standard message, right? So I can say, thanks for joining Dallas developer group. Now what does mean is, if anyone is trying to contact me from that page, they will automatically get this response saying that, and this response can be the standard legal response that, okay, you are providing us or giving us the consent that someone from our team can contact you. So go ahead. Again, this is a very good, if you have to do, I mean, if you know how the Service Cloud works, right? You have to create a queue, you have to create a present status, you have to assign it to the profile, permissions. There's 7-8 steps. All the steps have gone. All you have to do is just follow the screen here. So I'm saying create a queue, and you can assign all the users here. So let me see if it is able to find me. Yep. So I'm adding I'm the only person in the queue, and I'm saying Facebook Messenger queue. Okay. Facebook Messenger. Don't make any changes. I can say priority is 1. Next. On the last screen, it might give an error. I think some kind of the issue, but behind the scene, everything is getting created successfully. Okay, it does say looks like a problem, but there is no problem. If you see, everything is automatically successfully created. So team, that's all for the demo today. I'm going to stop my screen sharing. Again, before I go there, few of the resources. I'm going to share the slide with Paul. So these are the few things that you can go and watch. The Salesforce Ben blog is also very good. It gives a high level of what exactly is the digital engagement. There are some message consideration and information about the broadcast messages. There is official Salesforce documentation about the digital engagement and the messaging best practices. And or whatever the number I shared you about the WhatsApp, like the #1 application in the whole world, everything is in this YouTube. So go through all these videos, just 2 to 3 minutes video that will help you to understand more about why the digital experience is important for your company. Okay. And with that, I would like to thank Paul, the whole Dallas developer group, organizers, and everyone who have joined that. So feel free to ask me a question. I'm here for a few minutes and I'm happy to take a question.
We'll give it a few seconds. That was great, Jitendra. Anybody that was missing code because we didn't do any coding tonight can contact me for a full refund. I think this was a fantastic exploration of all the digital engagement stuff, and something that Marketing Cloud is one of those things that's famously not open for like Trailhead access. So I've been dying to see some of the digital engagement stuff and the connections there, and I'm looking forward to checking out the SDO. We'll have to see if we can do that. And that was a sample demo org. Is that what that was abbreviation is for?
That's right, Paul. So if you go to the partner.salesforce.com, log in by your company, and you have to do, there is a one badge. There is a badge for the partner. The name of the badge is partner demo org. You finish that badge, it will take around 1 hour, and it shows everything, what exactly is SDO, how it works, and then you will get an access to create as much SDO org you want. The best part is it's not a demo org, it's a full org, and all the sample data are already populated there. So it's pretty cool. If I have to give demo to my client, I don't create a dev org anymore, I just create SDO. And Charlie has shared some information about SDO.
Yeah, and I guess you get more number of licenses too, right? I think about 10 licenses instead of 2 for the dev org versus 10 for SG or something like that, right?
Yes, yes. I'm not sure on the number, but definitely there are more licenses, Aman.
Awesome.
Well, thank you for the link, Charlie. I was just starting to Google that so I could share that as well. That's great stuff. Bookmark. Oh, well, I guess everybody's busy processing or taking notes. Melissa, do you have any questions?
Nope.
Moyez, what are your thoughts? Let's see if I hit everybody. This is my favorite part of this group, is the exposure to be able to ask you questions about stuff like this. And I'm always sad that people don't take better advantage of it. Although when you were telling me to give cell phone numbers and send messages and go to a certain Facebook page, I'm pretty sure I was itchy and shaking just like Waqaz was. I'm not just, I can't, everything's spam or a virus. I'm not just going there. And I'm looking forward to see what Salesforce does with trust, and to try and improve trust on these channels. Nobody's doing it. All of the, I've got a buddy that works at Equinix, and I hear about how people are buying chunks of pipe with chunks of numbers, renting just for spam, and the networks aren't watching or making sure that the stuff, when you think you're blocking somebody who's spamming you, all you're doing is temporarily blocking that number. But in the future, when somebody else has that, you'll still be blocking, but they'll have bought a different segment of numbers. So there's a lot of industry regulation that needs to go on to make it to where these channels are more secure and less abused. So I'm looking forward to Salesforce putting their finger on the scale for that, and helping improve that. Have you seen any regulation come through and help with that, Jitendra? Is there?
So yeah, Paul, definitely. So the digital engagement is approved in the GDPR region in the Europe. So, and that is the reason, if you see the consent management, I think right now the two most important stuff is the consent management, and Salesforce already have the compliance and the regulations in place. On top of that, the carrier providers like AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, they have their own policies. So I think we are good that side. And the consent management is by default mandatory in Salesforce. So if you observe, right, you are sending an SMS, you get auto response. If someone is sending a Facebook Messenger, auto response that, hey, you are opting in. Now again, Salesforce is such a great tool. How the companies are using that would be up to them. I mean, it's a technology. If someone wants to spam someone, if I want to spam, I can definitely use the digital engagement. So I think it's a kind of the shared responsibility between the carrier, between the Salesforce, and between the customer who are using the digital experience. One thing what I love about Salesforce is Salesforce is live in the European region, right? And they are, in terms of the data governance and policies and the regulation, they're way ahead than us. So definitely if some software in the project is working in the Europe, I think at least this side, we should be safe. We should be comfortable because that product is approved in Europe side.
I'm sorry, and you said Salesforce is live in the European region. Which of these components are live in Europe and not in the US?
So SMS is live there, right? The digital engagement is service now, service voice is also live there. So basically, if these products are live there, that means they pass through all the compliance and the regulation check, whatever they need to follow there.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And again, all the considerations that we saw today, right? That's not because of the technical problem that Salesforce cannot do. All those considerations, like how many characters of messages can be sent, right? Can you broadcast or not? Technically, all those possible, but Salesforce is really complying with the country regulation and the carrier regulation.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions before we wrap it up? That was really enlightening. Thank you, Jitendra. Again, a wonderful, wonderful broad session.
No problem. Thanks, everyone. If you need any help or anything or more information about the digital engagement, feel free to reach out to me on Twitter.
Okay. Moyez, Ame, anything to close us out? I will just say a reminder that we've got our LWC LWR session with Stefan Chandler Garcia next week. Next month. That's up on deck. And unless Moyez Ame have anything else to close us out.
And good luck, Charlie, with your result. Fingers crossed, and we are rooting for you.
Thank you.
Yes. Thanks, everyone.
All right. Well, I'll take silence as no answers. We'll hang it up and we'll see everybody next month. Thank you very much again, Jitendra.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.